Hi, I'm Sandra, and we're here with En la Escena in Julia de Borges Cultural Center with Borish, celebrating el Día de los Muertos. So tell us a little bit about your background, about your art.
About, I'm saying I'm originally from California, and so my parents were from El Salvador, and I came to New York about 10 years ago, and we've been doing this annual Dia de los Muertos show for 3 years. This is our third year, and a lot of my art focuses on the element of ancestors and honoring our ancestors, and it deals with three-dimensional art, so a lot of altars and ofrendas.
Nice. So this year the theme is immigration. So I want to know a little bit about how your art shows that journey from our homelands to the United States.
So when people celebrate Dia de los Muertos, they are celebrating the meeting of the two worlds. So the day is a day of reflection, and the night where the dead and the living kind of meet together. So the whole essence and history of Day of the Dead is people are traveling, people are immigrating. So the whole ceremony that we're participating is, in a sense, always honoring immigration. And this year we chose in the theme of, I guess specifically focus on people who have died on that journey. So, to whatever country, it doesn't have to be Latin America, but wherever people are struggling to go somewhere else, to migrate. They are, and those that don't make it. There's tons of people that don't make it all the time. So we're honoring those people.
That's beautiful. So tell us a little bit about the ritual, like how like this like the boat and all the like spiritual ritual is about.
Sure. So we like to kind of call ours like neo-traditional. So it's kind of as traditional, but yet it's from a new generation. Both Adrian and I didn't really grow up doing things like this, so we kind of chosen upon ourselves to create that new, not recreate, but to, I guess, to adapt the traditional elements, and then make it kind of our way or our generation's way. So some of the elements you find here on the ofrenda or the altar is food. So you'll find, I like to put historically a lot of food that's important to our people. We have platanos, we have squash, and a lot of these foods are really ancient. People don't realize how old they are, that are indigenous to this continent. So like squash, we have chile, we have aguacate, coconuts, and then we like to implement the element of animals. So we have where we honor animal, members of the world, which are super important. So we have a couple of deer skulls, we have antlers, and we some of the other important elements are water. We put rum, of course, fire. Right. We have earth symbolized by the sand that's placed on there, and they're not traditionally all white like we've chosen this year. They're usually very bright because when you do Day of the Dead, you want to attract your ancestors to your altar, to your ofrenda. So you make them very bright, hence the colors like orange and yellow and red. So we have marigos, which are traditionally a flower used on that day, and those are orange. And then we have a lot of stuff. We have some tools. We have tools, so it kind of symbolizes for the workers that die, that do stuff for us every day, and then we have our friend here in the boat, which is something new we implemented this year. So we like the element of the boat and the travel, migration. It's also the boat is very important in other cultures where it symbolizes the traveling to other worlds, often on a boat or on water. And then
I saw a picture over there.
Yeah.
So that's
So the white frame is a collage of all my family members. So I'm very blessed to have old photos. My grandfather was a photographer, so he took photos of his grandparents and his parents. So I'm very lucky to hold those images. So I have my ancestors. So a part of this is that people are interactive, so they bring things to our altar And so you can bring photos, you leave them here, you can bring food, you can bring any kind of object that reminds you of that person that you lost. So some people bring little bottles of alcohol, or they bring food, or a game, or a little card, anything that's precious to them that day, we can sit here and meditate on that and honor our ancestors.
That's great. And I know that this also has like African influence.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to know a little bit about that, like how that influence our culture or this Día de los Muertos.
Um, it is definitely in our culture. It's not always highlighted. So we like to use this installation to kind of show all of our ancestors, so including African and indigenous, European, everybody in between. We like to kind of link that all together. For me personally, I found that the honoring of ancestors with the color white is very traditionally African. So I found that through my wife, who's African American, and I've learned so much from her. So I implement a lot of those things in there, and it's it's very, very, daily traditions that we do. We just like to kind of put them in there. So I know in New York, it's very kind of mixed together. When it's not really like that, we're in California, where you have a mix of Latinos and African Americans and Africans. So we kind of like to highlight the element in our altars.
That's great. And I know tonight there's gonna be like a lot of performances. So would you like to share with us a little bit about that? Like what are we expecting tonight?
Sure. So we have, once again, my wife she has a dance company called Ashe Dance Theater Collective, and they often they do performances that honor our ancestors also. So they're going to do a performance tonight. It's not necessarily a whole dance piece, but they do a lot of music set pieces in costume, which my wife designs and creates. And then we have a very traditional Mexica dance troupe that's going to perform a ceremony for us.
Thank you so much, Borish, and best for you this year and tonight. Hi, we're here celebrating el Día de los Muertos with Adrian Roman, known as El Viajero. So tell us a little bit why you call like that. Why you name like that?
Oh, El Viajero was a name given to me indirectly by my abuelo. He's passed on now, and it was a name that ever since I was a child I used to like traveling and exploring and things, and he gave me that name, and I didn't know that it was going to stick with me until now. And I've traveled around the world a lot, and I've actually created a character that I was using my grandfather's hats and his things that he gave me when he passed away, and I named that character Viajero, and I didn't realize that I was going to continue with that name and connected it to my grandfather, and so it just stuck, and it's a way of life for me, and traveling and getting to know all the cultures and making it a part of my daily life.
And tell us a little bit about your art tonight, like what we seeing related with immigration.
Well, definitely this is the reason why we wanted to do this project in specific. We feel like it's something I didn't grow up practicing this celebration of the Día De Los Muertos. I'm from Puerto Rico originally. Ben as well is from El Salvador, so like we didn't grow up kind of doing this every year. So, but we do feel very close to our ancestors and very close to our family members that have passed away, and we see it as something as we want to honor them and honor their lives and what they've done for us. So, connected to immigration, I feel like it's kind of paved the way. So like our grandparents and our parents or whoever have come from their original homes to leave that place to give their next generations a better life, or for whatever reason, we want to honor that. They paved the way for a lot of us, and we want to just respect that and acknowledge their lives for that.
And has been working with Borish, like doing this project has been the process and everything.
Oh, Borish is, we connected through mutual friends, through other artists, and he's done altars before. I've never built an altar before, other than the small little altar that I have at home, but never in this scale. So he's had experience in that. My particular artwork is more of this installation style, like the bigger structures, using a lot of wood materials and things to mix with my drawings and things like that. So with his altar building style and my installation style, it was just perfect to create something very different from how everyone else represents this celebration.
And what do you think this can help the community? How this can involve the community and make like a different experience for them?
Well, definitely we wanted to do something here in El Barrio specifically because this, for my families, it's been the first place that when they came to the United States, it was here in El Barrio. So for me, it's a personal connection, but for a lot of people in this neighborhood, it's the same experience. Their grandparents and their parents have come to this specific neighborhood from Puerto Rico, from Mexico especially. This is a large Mexican population now in this neighborhood. And we feel like it's right. It's a good transition for the two cultures to come together, and we're the dominant people here in this community, and to show that that we still have a big footprint in this community, and just bringing it together. You know, we're introducing this installation, but we're inviting everybody to come and celebrate from whatever culture, you know, and however you do it in your culture. And if you don't celebrate this day, you don't acknowledge their ancestors and things like that, we still have artwork. There's other ways for everyone to just come and appreciate what we're doing here.
Nice. So tell us a little bit about your installation, about your work tonight. So.
Sure. So the installation, there wasn't a specific style of the painting that we were going to create, but the altar had a very specific theme, and it was the migration. So with migration, we wanted to honor definitely our loved ones that have traveled wherever they have traveled to, that physically and then also spiritually, that journey onto the spiritual realm. I don't know if Ben spoke about how we divided the installation, but the way we do it is I do a left side and he does the right side. And that's our way of collaborating and creating one experience. And with the community helping out and adding to the altar, it's a whole big community experience. My markings on my side, I'm honoring a lot of the indigenous ancestors. So it's from Taino culture, from the Mayan culture, from Incas to Aztec. There's specific markings on my side that are honoring the ancestors from all different Latin American countries.
Thank you so much. I know it's going to be a great experience. And
I hope so. I'm sure it will.
And what are we waiting for you for the next years?
Well, there's Art Basel, which is the largest art fair in Miami. Mm-hmm. It's held in Miami every year, and that's in December. So I should have some work floating around in different galleries there. And 2014, it's unknown, so yeah, just continue to work.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. We're here with Maria and Suzette celebrating El Día De Los Muertos. So I know you're sisters, so I want you to tell me a little bit about how you work together. And I know you have marketing experience helping Latino artists, so let me know about that.
Yeah, we have a consultancy doing branding, PR, and marketing for Latino artists, specifically focusing on Latino artists. And it grew organically the way we started our business. I have a background in design, and she's got a background in copy editing, writing, and we do come together in that way. And creatively, we have a commitment to perpetuate and transform the agreement on our Latino culture. And
it's interesting because talking about migration and our ancestors, I think in many ways I like to joke that our mother and her family prepared us to at some point, come together unknowingly in our company that has a really true commitment to the Latino community and to the arts.
That's great. And tonight we're celebrating el Día de los Muertos. ¿Cómo ha sido este proceso? ¿Cómo ha sido la experiencia para mostrar esta gran ceremonia en la cultura?
Pues sabes que nos invitó Adrian Viajero al evento y No hace mucho trabajamos con él en otro evento de arte que ocurrió aquí en el barrio, De Los Muros Hablan. Y por medio de esa conexión, él nos invita. Ya habíamos quedado enamoradas de él como persona y de su arte.
Bueno, y verlo interactuar durante el día durante los muros hablan. Él trabaja con la comunidad y trae a la comunidad y su obra fue básicamente como una colaboración entre un diálogo entre él y la comunidad acá de East Harlem, y pues estábamos nosotras, sí, queremos colaborar como sea de nuevo y apoyar tu arte. Y cuando nos dijo que era el tema del Día de los Muertos, y a mí personalmente tengo background en historia, en estudios latinoamericanos, y para mí era algo bien personal poder conseguir una manera de bridge, de hacer un puente entre las comunidades latinas y todo lo que nosotros somos.
Y pues ahí nos enamoramos y dijimos que sí a ojos cerrados.
I know he's great. So tell us a little bit about how the artists, El Viajero and also Adrian have worked together. Like, how's been that experience?
The two of them working together. Well, they have been working together for a while now, so it's kind of beautiful to see how the synergy that they have, that it's almost like, I don't know if Adrian mentioned that they do one side of the piece and the other one, and then when you look at it, you can barely tell that it takes two people, and I think that it really speaks to their collaboration and the dialogue that really goes on between the two of them. So it's kind of amazing to watch them work, and in many ways inspiring, because I think and reflect back to our own work and our own company, and that's really how we do things in our community, in those kinds of collaborations.
And actually not only that, how they work together, but when they are working together, they are inviting the community to work with them.
Yeah.
And that is something we're really committed to bringing forth in our collaborations and in the art. So that's how the connection happened instantly. The pushing the community forward and the art and the Latino community as one. Because Puerto Rican and Salvador, and El Salvador.
And Mexico.
And Mexico, and Brazil, and Puerto Rico combined.
And Colombia.
Or Latin America. But I also know that it's not just Latin America.
Right.
It's like, can be Europe, can be Africa, can be any part of the world. So what do you think about immigration, actually? Like all the process of immigration and El Día de los Muertos tonight? Like that.
One of the things that first comes to mind is that what we see here, the beauty that you see around you and that you've had a chance to enjoy, is a product of immigration. That kind of entrepreneurial and creative spirit happens and takes forms in that. I mean, it takes a specific kind of person to leave everything and anything behind to come and make a new life and forge a new life for yourself in a place you don't know. And I think that really is passed on from generation to generation to generation. So I really think that a lot of the fabric of what is not only the Latino but America, I mean, it's a nation of immigrants.
Bueno, para terminar, ¿qué esperamos de ustedes ahora para más, como para la comunidad latina? ¿Qué más eventos esperamos o cómo más vamos a unir a nuestra comunidad?
Pues sabes que estamos trabajando cada vez más y más en eventos que unen nuestras comunidades latinas y aculturalizadas entre Nueva York y los países de origen. So vas a ver vamos a tener mucho más trabajo entre Nueva York y Puerto Rico. Artistas de Puerto Rico que vienen acá y que los llevamos allá entre Nueva York y los hermanos de Santo Domingo y de la República y de Brasil. Y como se proyectan las estadísticas es que vamos a hacer una acultura, un one world eventualmente. So, estamos muy emocionados por eso, porque al final de cuentas, en lo más básico somos human beings, ¿verdad?
Somos uno.
Somos uno. Va.
Bueno, muchas gracias y mis mejores deseos esta noche.
Gracias. Un placer, Sandra.
Bueno. Estamos celebrando el Día de los Muertos. Aquí está María Díaz, una de nuestras participantes. Cuéntanos un poco de cómo te apareció la instalación esta noche.
Bueno, veo la instalación como bien original. También muestra bastante bien el sentimiento que tenemos todos los hispanos con lo que tiene que ver el Día de los Muertos y el Día de los Santos. y estoy bien impresionada.
¿Tienes alguna historia que contarnos sobre algún ancestro, sobre historias de inmigración que nos quieras compartir esta noche?
Bueno, siendo puertorriqueña, nosotros celebramos más el Día de los Santos. Está en estos momentos mi mamá rezando para todos nuestros antecedentes. Yo tenía a mi bisabuela, que era taína, y ella nos hablaba mucho sobre muchas de las tradiciones indígenas, como el Día de los Muertos.
Bueno, muchas gracias. ¿Y qué estás esperando más esta noche? ¿Alguna novedad o algo más?
No solamente sentir más paz y relajación como debemos de sentir un día como hoy, es para recordarnos de nuestros antepasados y recordarnos de las culturas y las cosas preciosas de nuestra cultura que tenemos que seguir celebrando.
Muchas gracias por venir y espero tengas una buena noche.
Gracias a usted.
Gracias. We're celebrating el Día de los Muertos, and here is Raj, one of our participants. So, what do you think about this exhibition?
I think it's beautiful. I've never seen something like to this magnitude, and especially in the city of New York, which is odd because we're all Latinos. And so to see something like this, I think it's just beautiful, and to participate is even better.
And have you been here before in other exhibitions?
I've been to other exhibitions for Museo de Barrio, but never to Julio de Burgos, so this is a first for me.
And do you have any story to tell us about like immigration or about el Día de los Muertos?
Well, of course, we're still waiting with the immigration reform, and I think this is a great opportunity to also highlight the culture that thrives here in New York City. And I thought it was interesting because I also had a family member who passed, and so I also wanted to kind of celebrate her. And my culture is not Mexican, it's Colombian, but I feel that it's embedding itself in all these other Latino American cultures, like Colombia, Ecuador, Latino America in general. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for coming tonight, and I hope you have a lot of fun and also like I know it's very spiritual, so.
Yeah, I almost cried a little bit, but I know it's supposed to be joyous and stuff, but I'm still sentimental.
No, that's fine. So thank you for coming.
Oh, thank you for having me. Ross Barron.
En la escena celebrating today el Día de los Muertos here in el Barrio with artists El Viajero and Borish. It's a great night because we're celebrating immigration, so stay tuned to know more about it. En la escena celebrating tonight el Día de los Muertos here in el Barrio with artists El Viajero and Borish. Stay tuned because we are going to celebrate immigration. En la escena celebrating today el Día de los Muertos here in el Barrio with the artists El Viajero and Borish. Stay tuned because we're going to celebrate a pass of our homeland to Latino America. No. I'm Sandra, and en la escena is celebrating today el Día de los Muertos here in el Barrio with the artists El Viajero and Borish. Stay tuned because we're going to celebrate our pass from our homelands to America.
Very good. Let's do that again. Thank you.
I'm Sandra, and en la escena is celebrating today el Día de los Muertos here in el Barrio with artists Borish and El Viajero. Stay tuned because we're celebrating the pass of from our homelands to America. I'm Sandra, and we're celebrating today el Día de los Muertos with En la Escena here in el Barrio with El Viajero and Borish. Stay tuned because we're celebrating the pass from our homelands to America. We're here with Felix Leo Campos celebrating el Día de los Muertos. So tell us a little bit about this experience, how you feel it.
I like this experience. It brings a lot of Latino culture and actually global culture to a younger generation that doesn't have the knowledge and the experience of keeping together traditions of honoring our ancestors. So this is very nice to have here.
I know you were born here in the Barrio.
Yes.
So how do you think these events can help the community to keep together?
But events like this help the community because honoring the dead is a cultural tradition throughout Latin America and the Caribbean. And so bringing events like this here to El Barrio helps to bring all those cultures together under one theme that everybody shares.
So what do you think about the theme tonight, about immigration theme?
The theme of immigration is an important theme even for Puerto Ricans who are citizens, but we are often treated as immigrants as opposed to migrants. And so having to leave home, as so many other people have, in order to find a better life is a theme that Puerto Ricans and all Latinos and all people from around the world share. So it's an important theme to keep alive.
Thank you so much. Do you want to share about like the Día De Los Muertos, something, or like a story or something?
Well, I wrote, I lit a candle para mi familia y mis antepasados, mis antecedentes, y también hice una dedicación bajo el apodo familiar, dedicando esta conmemoración, porque no es una celebración, es una conmemoración de Día de los Muertos a mi familia, a la calle 100 donde yo me crié aquí en el barrio, a la familia que inmigró a Cuba en los 40, yo creo que fue, y todavía están ahí, y le doy las gracias y le doy el honorado por la crianza y la sangre que me han dado.
Muchas gracias y espero tengas una muy buena noche.
Muchas gracias, igualmente.
Gracias, Félix. Tonight we commemorate our ancestors that came from their homelands to America. This is what Sandra. No. Tonight we commemorate our ancestors that came from our Tonight we commemorate our ancestors that come from our homelands to America. This was Sandra Escayón from En La Escena. Tonight we commemorate our ancestors that came from our homelands to America. This was Sandra Escayón with En La Escena. Tonight we commemorate our ancestors that came from our homelands to America. This is Sandra Escayón with En La Escena. Knowing where you came from is loving who you are. Tonight we celebrate how our ancestors came from their homelands to America. This was Sandra Escayón with En La Escena. Knowing where you came from is loving who you are. We celebrate tonight how our ancestors came from their homelands to America. This was Sandra Escayón with En Escena. Yeah. Knowing where you came from is loving who you are. Tonight we celebrate how our ancestors came from their homelands to America. This was Sandra Escayón with En Escena.